Hey, OG with you out here in the wilderness on the side of Danger Mountain. This is kind of impromptu, not scripted in any way, because I was out here working on a different project today, and I brought with me this cool little FAB Defense AMP. It's a pistol chassis for your Glocks, and this thing just blew me away by how much fun this is. So I'm turning on the camera, and I'm going to talk directly to you. We're just going to kind of explore this thing and figure out what's going on with it and why it's actually so cool, because, man, this thing was pretty dang fun. Let's take a look around this thing. I recently went to SHOT Show in Las Vegas, and while I was there, I was actually invited to come by the FAB Defense booth. FAB Defense is a company out of Israel. They build a lot of polymer equipment, magazines, buttstocks, all kinds of furniture for AR-15s and AK-47s. Well, they happened to make this cool little chassis system that was sitting out on the front of their table. They had several of them in flat dark earth. I'm out there playing with it, and the owner or manager of the company, I'm not sure, asked me to come around in the back to their office, where he gave me this little AMP Pro. This is their AMP Pro. This is their pistol version that's legal in the United States, and I'll show you why. Okay, OG, why is the AMP Pro so cool? First of all, this is my Gen 6 Glock 17. I was actually going to sell this pistol recently, but this little chassis system takes essentially a Glock 17 and gives you 3 points of contact now. You've got your shoulder, you've got two hands on it, and it makes this thing just so much more unbelievably accurate, it's going to blow you away. Now I'll show you right here. I went through while I was pricing this thing, and I looked at a whole bunch of different chassis systems that are out there on the market. These things are going for, I think the closest one I found was about $250, all the way up to about $400, $450 for these different systems. They're all good. They all work in different ways. Some of them barely cover your pistol. You've got your pistol still hanging out there with your offhand digits still kind of out in front of the muzzle, but quite a few of them are a full chassis system like this that wrap the gun and really turn it into something else. And this is the AMP Pro that comes with a little bit better brace back here. This is a brace for a pistol. This one also comes with a piece of metal, steel Picatinny rail up here on the top. The Pro model does. And it also includes some of FAB's own proprietary backup sights. I kind of like these sights. These are very much like Magpul sights. If your optic ever goes down, or if you don't even want to run an optic, you've got backup sights on there. There's a dual aperture system here for close distances and faraway distances, very much like you'd find on an AR-15. The things flip back down and sit snugly against the top of your rifle. Because there's a rail on top, it allows you to put a red dot on there, which of course increases your accuracy and your hit potential. This happens to be a GoWutar red dot sight that they sent me. Excellent little sights. I love these things. I'll put the model number right here so you can go find them. But GoWutar makes some really rugged little red dot sights for a very affordable price. And I figure for this project, I wanted a very affordable piece on here. I don't want to put a fancy aim point or some $600 optic on this. I'm just not 100% sure about this just yet. Accuracy on this thing is crazy. FAB Defense makes this AMP Pro with M-LOK slots, top and bottom. I happen to have some of their awesome little M-LOK rail covers on top. They gave me a package of these things. These are awesome. These little rail covers mount into any M-LOK slots and basically provide you a nice little grippy surface in places where you don't need M-LOK to be. Okay, so how's it shoot? Well, you've got a pistol essentially right up close to your face, so there's a little bit more concussion right here in front. Not a lot. I did notice a lot more smoke. I don't know what that's about, probably because everything's being channeled inside of a little tube here. But man, very comfortable to shoot this thing. Love it. Okay, OG, getting to the meat and potatoes of the thing. How come it's so cool? Okay, this is my Gen 6 Glock 17. I did a video on that recently that I'll show you right here. And I was planning on selling this pistol because I also picked up a Glock 45 in the same generation. However, this Glock 17, when I snapped it into this little AMP Pro, just feels and shoots so nice that I don't think I'm going to get rid of it. But here's the heart of the system here. This little wedge back here is the adaptable piece. It's just basically a big adapter. The AMP Pro will take all kinds of different pistols. I'll show you a list of them right here. HK pistols, CZ pistols, Walther pistols, obviously Glock pistols, and it'll fit all different kinds of guns into your chassis system using this little wedge right here on the back that presses firmly up against the back strap. You can also see in front of the trigger guard a nice heavy duty spring system, probably belongs on a truck. That spring system presses a little tiny polymer button up against the trigger guard of your pistol and essentially shoves it back against this little adapter system. So it gives you a really firm, I mean, this thing locks in there. Now, as your pistol is mounted in there, there's a little hook here on the side, a little lever that allows you to press back and cock the gun. I don't know if you can even see it in there. I'm going to take this lever with my offside hand. It's not reversible, and I'm just going to press back on it. And what that does is essentially there's a little tiny hand in there that is pressing on the front of the slide right between the muzzle and the guide rod. So here's the cool part. This little button right here on the side, there's two of them on both sides. You press in those little buttons and this little adapter comes right out. Once this little adapter piece is out, your Glock 17 or 19 is free to come right out. So you can carry your pistol all day long in a holster, and then you can go back to your hotel room, to your house, or whatever you want to do, and slide it right back into the chassis very, very simply. Ite, my contact over at FAB Defense, who gave me this awesome chassis at SHOT Show, explained to me that in Israel, certain people are allowed the luxury of being permitted to own a Glock. One pistol only. No rifles, no shotguns in personal possession. So he owns a Glock 19. Well, you can carry around your Glock 19 all day long for personal protection, and then when you get home at night, snap it into the chassis system in a matter of minutes, and you've got essentially a 3-point little carbine that's so much easier and faster to run on multiple bad guys. We're going to take my Glock 17 Gen 6. I'm going to press it in there, and I'm going to make sure that it is riding on the rails of the pistol. You can see the back of it still remains a little bit wobbly, but the rails are locked onto the pistol, nice and firm. And then I'm going to take this adapter, made specifically for the Glock 17 and 19. I'm going to press it up against the back strap, and then I'm going to just snap it into place. Both of those buttons have popped in, and now I have a very firm, I mean, this thing just feels like it's all one unit. There doesn't feel like there's a separate pistol inside. Hello, OG here, and if you've watched this channel for any period of time, first of all, find better content on YouTube. Second of all, you might have noticed that I film my videos out here in the middle of nowhere all by myself. That's right, I'm the cameraman, the editor, the scriptwriter, the catering director, the lighting guy, the sound guy, and even the key grip. And nobody knows what a key grip even does. And because it's all up to me, no one's coming, I like to bring target systems with me that are easy to transport and even easier to set up. Now, I'm a big fan of steel targets. I think they give shooter awesome feedback that you just can't get from shooting paper targets. And if you're working with new shooters, wives, or girlfriends, never bring your wife and your girlfriend to the range at the same time. Nothing is more exciting or a better teaching aid than the ring of a steel target. Shooting at steel targets is awesome, but hitting them is even better. A company called TA Targets in Pennsylvania recently sent me 2 of their awesome targets for use here on the show. It started when I ordered some of their pre-printed cardboard targets to use while sighting in red dots on pistols or optics on rifles. Those are 2 tasks where steel targets just aren't appropriate for the mission. They thought I needed something better than just plain old cardboard targets, so they sent me their outstanding Grounder 550 target and their super useful ADAP 550 steel target. The Grounder uses 2 pre-assembled AR500 steel leg assemblies, so you'd really have to work at it to damage them. They are powder coated to resist rust, and they fold out at your shooting spot, and they secure with a clevis pin, holding their Grounder 550 steel target plate firmly in place at an angle designed to deflect all lead and all copper splatter down to the ground. That's where you want it. And here's a cool little feature for dullards like OG. There's a chart on the back that tells you what pistol and rifle calibers these targets can be shot with, and the safe distances to avoid damaging them. The Grounder they sent me is only made in 3/8" AR550 steel, but the rest of their ADAP targets are made in 1/2" and 3/8" AR550. The best part, when you're done shooting, you just pull the 2 clevis pins and the entire system comes apart into 3 large pieces that lays flat in your truck or even in the trunk of a car. The ADAP target system is similar to the Grounder but stands at roughly the height of a human adversary. You supply the 2x4 in any height you like. but TA Targets recommends cutting them about 4 feet long. Now the top bracket drops right onto the top of your 2x4, and the AR-550 steel A-zone size target plate just pops right on. The target plate on this ADAP is 1/2 inch thick AR-550 and can handle hits from pistols, shotguns, and rifles, all at the appropriate distances. You can even hit both these targets with slugs and magnum caliber rifle rounds, as long as you check the chart on the back to get the right distance away from the target. Now, because I have a lot of hard, rocky, frozen ground here, TA Targets also throw in one of their target bases. The welded base is round and it's heavy enough to hold their steel target without falling over, but it's light enough that it can be picked up and easily packed away for your trip home. It comes with 2 options for a stand. You can either stuff a couple of 1x2 furring strips in the smaller sockets and staple your cardboard targets to them, or, and this is much more fun, plug in your 2x4 and drop on the top bracket to hang your A-zone steel plate. And these things have the coolest ring to them when they're hit. I've put a link to TA Target's website below this video so you can check out all the other cool stuff that they have over there. And I'm particularly excited about their T-post system because the entire OG compound is surrounded by T-posts. And you probably have a few laying around behind your garage right now. Get out there and clean that mess up, by the way. Those Pabst Blue Ribbons cans laying all over the place are embarrassing for you and for me. For a limited time, TA Targets is offering a special discount code to viewers of OG's Danger Show. Now, if you're not a viewer of the show, this code isn't for you, but it'll still work. Punch in the discount code OGDS10 to get 10% off from TA Targets. This code only applies to anything that TA Targets makes and sells, all their target systems and cardboard, but not anything else like medical kits and self-healing targets. You're going to like these guys. They have their own badass YouTube channel. They are a bunch of good, God-fearing folks that love shooting and they love making good equipment for the rest of us shooters. So it's my understanding that the AMP Pro, the Pro model, is going to come with this cool little FAB Defense backpack. The OG's Danger Show patch does not come with the backpack. That's going to cost you an extra $500 just for the cool factor. But this little AMP Pro in its most folded up position with an optic on top will fit inside this cool little backpack that is quite a bit smaller than even the school kids backpack, your average Jan Sport. Not much bigger than a lunchbox. So if I wanted to deploy this from my back in a backpack form, I would just rotate it around into the front of me, grab these easy to see, easy to grab little zipper pulls, pull the thing open, reach inside. I've got my AMP Pro in my hands. I want to deploy the little arm brace. I want to deploy the little foregrip and press in on the buttons if I have time to snap the little trigger guard protectors up, and I am back in business with a 3 points of contact 9mm carbine. That's pretty dang cool.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
So in addition to all of the other polymer furniture that FAB Defense makes for AR-15s and AK-47s, they make these Glock 17 magazines that are a +1 magazine. This Glock 17 magazine holds 18 rounds. There's no metal liner in it. It's all polymer. It's very, very sturdy. They make a bunch of different base plates for it. Different height base plates that you can add on. So I'm going to give these a try out here today. They also make a Glock 19 magazine that is also +1, so it holds 16 rounds in your Glock 19. By the way, a big thank to my Patreon donors who helped me buy ammo and parts and equipment for these tests. If you want to join us over on Patreon, I'm going to put a link down in the description section. We'd love to have you over there. Okay, we're going to run a little test here. I'm about 50 yards away, 40 or 50 yards away from my TA Target ADAP system down there. I'm using these Ultimags from FAB Defense in a regular Gen 5 Glock 17. I've got 10 rounds left over here. We're going to run out here and see at 50 yards if we can make hits. Now, this Glock 17 is equipped with a Hollow Sun red dot, and I think it is pretty zeroed in. I've been carrying this thing this way. We're going to take these 10 rounds, however. Here's that Ultimag, how it fits into a regular Glock 17. We're going to take these 10 rounds and see if we can zap that steel target from about 50 yards away with the pistol in a red dot. And then we're going to try it up against the AMP Pro, shouldering it. Let's give it a try. Okay, I've got my TA Targets ADAP set up down there with the GoPro at about 50 yards away. Let's go ahead and turn this camera around. There you go. Now it just got sexy up in here. I'm going to take this Glock 17 with a Hollow Sun, nothing else, See if I can make hits on it. I got 10 rounds. Let's count how many we can make out there at 50 yards, just offhand. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10. That's almost 50%. Okay, we're back here at 50 yards. I think we got our go-with-tar squared away. Let's try one of these Ultra Mags in here again. I don't know how many rounds I've got in the magazine. I think way more than 10. But we're going to put 10 rounds, 10 shots, hopefully on that steel at 50 yards away. See what we can do here. 1, 2. I'm going to shut up and quit counting. I don't know, I think we missed one of those. I think number 5 we missed, but I'm pretty sure we got the rest of them in at the target. Much easier. Remember, that's a C-zone size target, so hitting a human at this distance, 50 yards, would be just cake. With a pistol, depends on your skill level, but this just 3 points of contact just makes this thing so much more enjoyable. Okay, so the FAB Defense AMP Pro, very fun to shoot. Man, I love this little setup. I'm probably going to keep it exactly like this. I do see something up here, though. There's a lot of cloudy carbon buildup in here because the muzzle of our gun is essentially in a little tunnel, so nothing's escaping, or very little is escaping. Let's go ahead and pop this little adapter plate off here. Let's take the Glock 17 out, double check that it's clear, and I'm going to show you here. Wow. So the muzzle of the pistol, unbelievably dirty, right underneath where the slide operates. The bottom of the dust cover also got that purplish, pinkish, cloudy stuff on it. And then the front of the muzzle, you can see right there. Of course, that all just wipes off. It's just dust or smoke. That just tells you that all of that smoke coming from the fired rounds is all kind of gathering up inside here. Look at the difference in color now. This was just same OD green. It just wipes off. You can clean your gun. I mean, it didn't affect anything. It doesn't affect a damn thing. So thank you very much to FAB Defense and Ite over there for sending this thing out. Awesome little toy. You guys, if you're interested in something like this, check the comment section. Somebody at the top of the comment section might be talking about where you can get one of these for yourself. But at 150 bucks, I mean, come on. You can't do anything else this fun for 150 bucks unless you're in Tijuana. So thank you guys for stopping by. You guys stay safe out there. Stay armed whenever and wherever you are. These are nutty times. And until next video, OG out.